Hello, welcome everybody to Build Fly Go. This is our departure from Brazil. Unfortunately, this part of the trip is coming to an end with the COVID-19 situation going on. You may have noticed that we sort of accelerated the return, and we are starting to head home. Um, we today is Boa Vista, which is the northern tip of Brazil, into Guyana. I'll get it right one of these days. Um, for fuel, just a quick stop, and then continuing to Grenada. Yep, I said it right. Continuing to Grenada, where we spend the night at a sort of somewhat overpriced hotel with an overpriced restaurant, but very pretty. And But it's what was available. Um, and we spend the night there, and that's the first sort of hop into the Caribbean, right? Like let's get out of Latin America and into the Caribbean and start the return trip. Um, Boa Vista was about what we expected. It took a little bit of time to get all the paperwork done. We had to meet with the customs person, the Receita Federal, and that took a little bit. He came out and inspected the airplane and was surprised that there wasn't a baggage area. They're like, "You mean that's all you have?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's all we have. There's no baggage area to open." Um, and Once that was done, we had to wait for the form to get sorted out online. And then we paid the airport fee, which was about $250, which we know it's sort of a larger airport in Brazil. We were expecting this. It's an international airport. Not a surprise. We knew that's what that was. And we knew up front, right? So that's fair. um, and then managed to file our flight plan, and then we're in the airplane and ready to go. And you call Tower, and Tower says, "Nope, your flight plan was denied by Guyana." And immediately through my mind, I'm going, "Oh crap! Did they close the airport down? Are we stuck?" Um, so we get out of the airplane, we go to the AIS office, the weather and briefing office, and no, it turns out that Guyana just wanted clarification on what we were doing there because we were outside of the landing permit date. And we hadn't clarified on our paperwork that we were only doing a fuel stop. Everybody was surprised in Brazil that this was a requirement. It hadn't been a requirement before. It might be a recent thing. So once we told them it was just tech stop fuel and then we're gone, they okayed the flight plan. We went back out to the airplane and flew to Guyana. We have been filing everything IFR on this return, partially because it helps us get through some weather. There's been a lot of overcast or broken stuff that would have been difficult to go through. So we're just filing IFR and we're going. Of course, staying away from NECB and things like that. But yes, so this is Guyana. It was fairly easy. No big deal. The usual, lots of paperwork, lots of copies of general declarations. Guyana is probably the one that's been the most amount of unnecessary paperwork, but it goes well. The gentleman you saw up front who guided us in is Beeman, and he's sort of an informal handler, and he holds your hand through the whole thing. Not actually holding your hand, but he'll guide you through the whole thing. Very, very helpful guy. You give him a few bucks in the end. He hinted in the end that people usually pay him $100 for this service, and I was like, "Yeah, I've also heard that people negotiate with you," and he laughs, and it's like, "Okay, so we agreed on a different amount." So nice guy, very, very, very worth a few bucks. Then we continue to Grenada through the Corto fix, which is the fix that the Georgetown Fear and the Piarco Fear, which are the centers, if you will, the international centers, like the border crossings to happen. So direct to Porto, and then direct to the Piarco VOR, which is right over I believe is right over Trinidad, and then we turn right towards Grenada. Fairly easy flight, we're back over water. We're back wearing life jackets, and the raft is in the plane again. So the plane is a little rear heavy, but it handles great. These RVs are just fantastic airplanes. When we get to Grenada, you'll notice that there's a big airplane sitting on the ramp. I didn't actually see what kind of airplane it was, but I went and talked to them, and it is the St. George Medical College that's based out of Grenada, and I believe they're a U.S. institution, and they have decided to evacuate all their students. There was a concern that if the medical students got sick, that's a large number of people that the local hospital system would not be able to handle. So they've decided to send all their students home. So they chartered, I think they said this was the fourth round trip of that airplane, and I'm guessing that fits 200 people or more. So they've been running charters back and forth from Grenada and just shuffling students out of the country. There hadn't been, that I'm aware, any virus cases, any disease cases in Grenada at this point, but it was just let's get everybody out, right? Like the right thing to do is get the people, the students out of here, so that if something happens, they don't burden the local medical community. But yeah, so that was Grenada, and we have a nice overnight there, and the next day we are heading to Puerto Rico. We wanted to have sort of a halfway point between sort of the lower eastern Caribbean and the US, and a very good spot is Puerto Rico, and that's where we are tonight. So another video talking about Puerto Rico coming up. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for following along. It's been a fantastic trip, and we've got a few more videos to come. And please subscribe. If you haven't yet, hit the little subscribe button on the bottom there. It helps us out. All right, thanks everybody. We'll talk soon.